What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing tonight? We're going over the 5th edition of the Power Rankings this season. We're going to talk Corey Seager, Shohei Ohtani, the Rays as well, the White Sox as well, maybe even a little Trevor Bauer. Let's get to it. And what's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Hello, hello. I'm seeing 40 people in the chat to start things off. That's what I like to see. What is going on, everyone? Hope everyone has had a good weekend. We had a pretty good weekend of baseball this past weekend. And we're ready to talk some power rankings. I am seeing a super chat just popping in from Kyle Duffield. I want some love for Vladdy today. I think we're going to give a little love to the Blue Jays and Vladdy himself today. But before I get more to that, Kyle, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. James Scott just getting in. Hello. Brian Buckley, David Knight, Adam, what's going on? How you doing? Rocky Adams, Matt Lewis, AM, Southsider 14, Jerome, Banana, what is going on? Brian Buckley, hello, hello. And there is that super chat from Kyle. Once again, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. Sean Murphy's in the house. What's going on? King Yellowman, hello. Am I missing anyone else? I see Ben Faria. What's going on? Hello. Have I missed anyone? Hello. What's going on? Again, hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone is rested and ready to go for another week. Pretty interesting weekend in baseball. Pretty interesting week once again in baseball. And we're going to be going over my 5th power rankings this season. So we'll get to the power rankings here in a little bit. I'm just going to go over a few quick news stories. I'm going to run through them very quickly. But before I get started, as always, if you can, hit that subscribe button for me. We're trying to get to 7K by the All-Star break. We have been getting some traction with the channel lately. We've been picking up some subscribers lately, so if any of you are just joining us for the first time, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And again, if anyone is new, hit that subscribe button. I'm talking baseball here all the time. And also, everyone, I have some content coming out this week. I have some stuff ready to go, so be on the lookout this coming week. I have some content ready to be uploaded throughout the week. Hit that like button for me, everyone. If we can get to 100 likes by the end of the night, that would be awesome. Last week, we had an amazing night. We hit, I think we were over 200 people in the chat last week, so if we can get to that again, that would be fantastic. But again, hit that like button. That's really going to help. Go follow me on Twitter as well if you'd like to talk some baseball over there. And also, everyone, if you can, hit that bell notification. That way you're informed of all future streams and any content that I upload. So let's get to it, everyone. So I'm just going to go through a couple of news stories really quick, and then I'm going to get to the power rankings. So I'm going to start off today. We had a bit of bad news for the Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager today. That's the wrong one. There it is. Corey Seager out 4 weeks with a broken hand. Man, this Dodgers team, they're just not getting any luck recently. So let's go to the story here. Here we go. Alrighty, so Corey Seager out at least 4 weeks, but he's not going to require surgery. So something, hey, you know, good. I mean, good luck in that way, I guess. But I mean, again, going to be out for 4 weeks. One of their better bats in the lineup, and hey, that's a tough blow. But fortunately, he's not going to require surgery. So they definitely they avoided a horrible thing right there. And especially, too, I mean, this guy's going to be a free agent. I mean, you hate to see that, you know, being so close to his free agent year. So hopefully he can come back healthy, not just for the Dodgers' sake, but for his sake as well. So you're going to see Gavin Lux taking over at shortstop in his place. So I guess a recurring move or a move to follow up that. They're going to be calling up Kyber Ruiz to the active roster. So, but again, they took the x-rays. It revealed a fractured right hand. You got to be careful with those hands and those fingers. They can kind of be a little finicky, so hopefully everything goes well and he can rehab well and everything goes according to plan. And he can come back soon and help this Dodgers team, who have been playing a little better as of late. Hit a really rough stretch recently, so hopefully Corey Seager can be back very soon. Now, let's go to the next story. Shohei Ohtani, this was my MVP pick this year. He doing big things at my expense against my Red Sox. The Red Sox were so close to victory today. Matt Barnes, who has been filthy all year, Shohei Ohtani got him today with a game-winning 2-run home run on the road, and that was a big win for the Angels. Let's go take a look at the box score real quick. So, man, oh man, this, I'll tell you, this was really tough to watch as a Red Sox fan today. So let's take a look here. So as you can see, Angels winning it today, 6-5, the 2-run home run, the deciding factor in this game. Again, the Red Sox, they were 1 out away from winning this game, and Matt Barnes blowing his first save of the season. You hate to see it, but hey, for the Angels, they needed this win today. They have not been playing well as of late, only 17-22 on the year so far. I still think this Angels team has a lot of potential. I still think there's a lot of talent on this team. And Ohtani, he just continues to have himself a really good season. Let's go take a look at the numbers for Ohtani. So far, through 5 starts, he has an ERA of 2.10, 25 innings pitched, 40 strikeouts. This guy is just playing. I mean, this is crazy to see. We haven't seen anything like this before. We all knew what Ohtani could bring to the table, but I mean, the fact that he's putting it all together here, it's just so fun to watch. And unfortunately, you know, I had to watch it today firsthand, just seeing just him beating my own team. That was tough. But for the offense, taking a look here at the batting stats this year, hitting .262 on the year. He's got 12 home runs, 29 RBIs. He's even got 6 stolen bases. This guy's the real deal. He's got a 901 OPS. You would like to see him do a little bit more with getting on base, only a 304 on base, but he is really providing it in the slugging department. I mean, this guy has been awesome. I mean, I'm seeing a great comment in the chat right now from Steady. Babe Ruth in anime form. I mean, what better way to describe it? This guy's pitching. He's hitting. I mean, to me, if this Angels team can just get themselves together, I mean, this guy, I think, could be a surefire MVP pick. He was my pick for the MVP this year. And unfortunately, he's just playing on a not-so-great team right now. And hopefully this Angels team can get themselves together. But for the Angels today, big win. Shohei Ohtani, the winning home run today, so good for him. Next story, we have the Rays sweeping the Mets. Man, oh man, Mets fans, they just can't seem to catch a break. This Mets team isn't playing well as of late, but the Rays starting to heat up as of late in Tampa. Had a pretty decent series, but I mean, a pretty decent series on paper, but the Rays winning all 3, getting the sweep. So let's go take a look at how this unfolded today. Taking a look here, a 7-1 final. I mean, the Rays, for the most part, hey, they handled this series pretty well. Pitching for the Mets today was Stroman. Not a good day for Stroman. 5 runs in the 6 innings today. But this Rays team, they're really starting to come alive. They're starting to come together. I still think this Rays team was very good. I felt like a lot of people weren't really giving this Rays team much of a chance coming into this year, but to me, I still see a talented team in Tampa Bay. They're starting to put some wins together. We'll get to the power rankings here in a second. We'll see where the Tampa Bay Rays fall on my power rankings this week. But for the Mets, I mean, hey, you know, they were kind of playing really well there, and, you know, coming into Tampa Bay and getting swept, you hate to see it. Being a Mets fan, that's got to be frustrating. I'm seeing a giraffe neck Mark comment in the chat. Jackson saying giraffe neck Mark punching the air right now. I mean, honestly, Mets fan, it's like you're on a roll, you're playing well, you're finally getting your team to maybe come together a little bit, and then you just go to Tampa Bay and you get swept. So I don't know, but I mean, these two teams kind of trending in different directions at the moment. We'll see where they fall on my power rankings. For my next story, the White Sox winning on a walk-off wild pitch today. I mean, You don't ever see that very much, but let's go take a look at that. Let's go take a look at how this unfolded today. So taking a look at this. Here we go. So here's the box score. White Sox scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. This Kansas City team, they have just completely fallen off the face of the earth. They, I think, lost like 10 or 11 games in a row at one point, maybe even 12. I'm not quite sure how many it was exactly. But this White Sox team winning in a very unusual way, a walk-off wild pitch. I mean, goodness gracious, when do you ever see a team really do that? I feel like we've had a couple of weird walk-offs this year. We've had some walk-off. I think we had a walk-off walk at one point this year. Hold on one second, everyone. Just fixing something on the iPad real quick. 1 second, everyone. I apologize. Okay, here we go. But again, getting back to this game real quick, the White Sox, they're just finding ways to win. This is what good teams do. They just find ways to win. And I find it kind of ironic that Jose Abreu was the guy that ended up scoring the winning run when he just flat out, who did he run into the other day? I can't remember who he ran into. Who can tell me in the chat? He ran into someone on the base paths the other day. I can't fully remember who it was. Who was it? Was it Brian Dozier? Am I right on that? I don't remember who it was exactly, but he just ran face first into him. It's like almost Hunter Dozier just plowed him over. I'm like, Jose Abreu, what are you doing? And hey, he's putting that speed to good use, scoring on a walk-off wild pitch today. So for the White Sox, we're going to see where they fall on my power rankings this week. They're just finding ways to win at this point. This team, I think this White Sox team, has a chance to maybe fall into the A+ category on my rankings for this week. Could we finally have a team get back into the A+? We'll have to wait and see where they fall. We got a pretty funny story here to end my news cycle. We have Trevor Bauer mocking Major League Baseball. If any of you missed this, I think this is hilarious. Trevor Bauer just continues to find ways to get himself into the news. And, I mean, the picture says it all. Trevor Bauer, after his start yesterday, a good start yesterday from Trevor Bauer, a very confident press conference if you heard him talking. Just go look up that press conference. It's pretty funny. But the story of this right now, it's what it says on the shirt. It says, "Not my logo, don't find me." So if any of you are having any trouble remembering what Trevor Bauer, what happened with Trevor Bauer in Major League Baseball a little bit ago, let me go back to the story here. So this is an apparent reference to, in this article on DodgerBlue.com, they wrote, "It was an apparent reference to previously being in MLB's crosshairs during spring training because of wearing an undershirt and belt that featured the Bauer Outage logo." So if you don't remember, Trevor Bauer, he got a warning from Major League Baseball because he was wearing his own apparel and it had his own logos on it. And he even tweeted this out back on March 14th. It says here, Major League Baseball says, "We can't market players if they don't want to market themselves." Then the player says, or then the player markets himself like Trevor Bauer did, and then Major League Baseball responds with, "That is strictly prohibited. We are going to fine you if you do that again." I mean, hey, Trevor Bauer, he's got a point. I mean, he's trying to market himself. He's trying to do what he can to, get himself out there and get himself, get him and his own company out there. I don't know. It seems like Major League Baseball and Trevor Bauer, they just can't see eye to eye. Did we get a super chat? Oh, I saw a super chat for you from Rocky Adams. I apologize about that. Rocky Adams, thank you so much. You have to talk about Alec Manoa. And everyone, this is actually a good time to maybe bring this up. I'm going to be starting a new series here soon. It's going to be basically just highlighting a prospect. I'm going to try and talk about some prospects that maybe we could see in the near future, or maybe even in a year or two down the road. I'm going to start kind of highlighting certain prospects that I would like to, just kind of give a shout out to a prospect for the week. So be on the lookout soon, where I'm going to be starting to make videos, not long videos, maybe like 5 minutes long or something like that, where I'm going to be talking about certain prospects and why we should be on the lookout for those prospects. So be on the lookout for that, and maybe Alec Manoa could be one of those guys that I talk about in that series coming up. So, but back to the story. Rocky Adams, again, thank you so much for the super chat. But Trevor Bauer, not happy about this. As you can see here, wearing the shirt that today, he obviously wearing a piece of paper blocking his own logo with the paper saying, "Not my logo, don't find me." So Trevor Bauer having some fun with Major League Baseball today, or yesterday actually. But hey, Trevor Bauer always finds a way to get himself into the news. But Trevor Bauer having himself a good season so far. Alrighty, everyone, let's get to what I think most of you are here for, and that is the power rankings. This is the 5th week of the power rankings. This has been going extremely well. I'm seeing right now 78 people in the chat. Last week we got up to around 200 people in the chat. So hopefully we can have that same turnout by the end of the night tonight. But again, every week, every Sunday night, I'm doing my power rankings where I basically rank teams from A+ all the way to an F. I take a look at all the stats. I take a look at the numbers on Fangraphs. I take a look at where they're ranking offensively, starting pitching-wise, bullpen-wise. I might even take a look maybe at some defense this week. Maybe start trying to include the defense a little bit. But I'm not just looking at where they're ranking throughout the year. I'm looking at where they're ranking recently to see if maybe that kind of pushes the needle on whether or not they should move up or down in the power rankings. So, but let's actually go here. Let me get this all set up here. Let's take a look at last week's power rankings here. So taking a look. So these were last week's power rankings. As you can see here, we have from last week, we had the White Sox, Cardinals, and the Red Sox as an A. I had no A+ teams. I didn't feel like there were any A+ teams last week. We might see a change here this week. We might see a change. I had the Giants as a B+, the Yankees, Astros, Padres, Brewers, Mets, A's as a B. C+, I had Braves, Dodgers, Blue Jays, Rays, Phillies, and the Indians as a C+ last week. Angels, Reds, Cubs, Rangers, Mariners as a C last week. Hey, who knows where the Mariners are going to be, especially after the call-ups of Logan Gilbert and Jared Kelenic. Twins, Nationals, Orioles, Diamondbacks, Marlins, Royals as a D. And my F teams from last week, Rockies, Tigers, Pirates. So this was last week. These are not my power rankings this week. So let's go to a fresh set of power rankings. Let's reset it. Let's get this in the right mode. Here we go. So one last quick look. Here are my power rankings from last week. If you are just coming in, there you go. Those are the power rankings from last week. And let's begin. So I'm seeing 90 people in the chat. If anyone is new, hit that subscribe button. We're talking baseball here all the time. So welcome to tonight's power rankings if you are just coming in. Wow, we just had 25 more people jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the power rankings for this week. So the way I do this is I go to the overall standings for Major League Baseball. I start at the bottom, and I work my way up to the top. So here we go. Starting off with the Minnesota Twins. Last week, I had the Twins as a D. This Twins team stinks. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They lost today. I'm tired of this Twins team. They have a negative 20 run differential. I'm so tired of this Minnesota Twins team. I don't understand what it is with this team. The saving grace with this team is they do have a really good offense. And if we take a look at the starting pitching, they are 11th in starting pitching. But if you go all the way down to the bottom here in the bullpen, they're 28th in the bullpen this past week, or the 28th in the bullpen in this year. If we take a look at numbers this past week, taking a look offensively, the Twins, they're 26 in offense this past week. Taking a look here, that's not the right page. Taking a look at, that's not the right page either. What is going on? I want to look at team stats. Oh, Fangraphs, you're killing me right now. Here we go. Taking a look at the numbers from this past week. Here we go. So, starting pitching this past week, Minnesota, where are you at? Minnesota ranks dead last in starting pitching this past week. Taking a look at the bullpen. Why in the world, why is it individual player stats? I want the team stats. Here we go. All right. So, sorry, everyone. Having some technical difficulties here. Here we go. The numbers this past week. And again, I don't know if Fangraphs has updated this completely, but whatever. The bullpen for the Twins this past week. Where is that Twins bullpen? 19th in the bullpen this past week. This Twins team stinks. I'm tired of this Twins team. They always let me down every single year. I'm tired of it. I'm putting the Twins No, what happened to my rankings? What is happening? Everyone, we're having some technical difficulties. What is happening? Okay, we got to make this a quick change here. Sorry, everyone. Here we go. A plus. Let's make that red for the A's. Here we go. Add a row above. Darn it. I'll tell you, tier maker drives me nuts sometimes. Okay, let's do this. B plus. Make that orange. Okay, here we go. Let's do C plus. Add a row below. Oh, cool. I didn't realize I could type that right there. Awesome. All right, and add a row below this for the Fs. And let's make that a nice shade of gray. F. And let's make the D, I don't know, let's go purple this week. Let's go purple. All righty, here we go. I think we're all set. All right, so as you can see, I have A plus A, B plus B, C plus C, D, and an F. So I just said the Twins. This team stinks. I'm putting them as an F. They're playing terrible baseball this past week. As you saw with the numbers, they ranked very low in offense this past week. They ranked very low in the starting pitching. Not doing very good in the bullpen. This team has the worst record in all of Major League Baseball right now, a negative 20 run differential. I'm tired of this Twins team. You're an F. Sorry. I don't care. Here we go. So last week next up we have the Tigers. Tigers, I'm sorry, but I think you're going to be staying as an F. I mean, they are 6-4 in their last 10, but I mean, come on, look at that run differential. Negative 69 on the run differential for the Detroit Tigers. I mean, to me, they're not really doing anything here. We're staying as an F for the Detroit Tigers. I'm sorry. Taking a look, Colorado, they've lost 2 in a row, 3-7 of the last 10. This team stinks too. I'm putting the Rockies. They were an F last week. The Rockies, they're an F this week too. Moving on, Pittsburgh. I had Pittsburgh as an F last week. Let's take a look. Pittsburgh, 4-6 in their last 10. I don't know. They're not really doing much. Negative 44 on the run differential. Sorry, Pittsburgh. You're an F. Moving on, Baltimore, 17-23, 3-7 in their last 10. They won today. Baltimore last week I had as a D. Let's take a look at where Baltimore's ranking. Right now on the offense, 25th in the offense for Baltimore this year. Starting pitching, 20th in starting pitching. Their bullpen, though, I've said this, I feel like in a few weeks in a row now. Baltimore's bullpen has been really solid this year. However, this bullpen is dropping. They're now 15th. This bullpen was a top 10 bullpen, I believe, just last week, and now they're ranking 15th. Let's take a look at the offense this past week. Look at this. Hold on real quick. Hold on a second. That's the relievers. Where's the offense? That's starting pitching. And this is batting. I don't know what happened. I had this all organized, and I must have clicked on something wrong, and everything just got all messed up. All right, here we go. Looking at the offense from this past week, we have broken 200 people in the chat. Everyone, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming out tonight. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. We're talking baseball here all the time. Offense, here we go. All right, so this past week, Baltimore's offense, 24th this past week. Taking a look at the starting pitching. The starting pitching is doing pretty decent this past week. Am I looking? No, this is still not the right dates. This is killing me right now. What is going on? I had this all set up, and now it's everything's breaking on me, everyone. Just like my brain. I have a potato brain. There we go. I think everything's good now. Okay, those are the starters. These are the relievers. Okay. 10th through the 16th. Okay, starters. All right, so Baltimore this past week. Baltimore is 16th in starting pitching this past week, and they're 4th in the bullpen this past week. So how is that? Why are they 15th overall in the year? They were much higher than that. Okay, here are the bullpen numbers. Again, they're 15th. I could have sworn they were a top 10 bullpen last week. I don't know. Baltimore, I feel like, I don't know. They're 3-7. Let's take a look at their schedule from this past week. Well, hey, I mean, the Orioles beating the Yankees today. So maybe that can keep them in the D's. Here we go. Taking a look. What did Baltimore do this past week? All right, so they lost 2 or 3 to the Yankees. They lost both to the Mets, and then they lost to the Red Sox in the beginning of the week. So they lost 4 out of this past week. I don't know. Do we want to make Baltimore an F? Do we want to make Baltimore an F? Or I think maybe we can keep them in the D's for now. I think we're going to keep them in the D's for now. They're not quite playing terribly. They had a couple wins this past week. I'm not ready to make them an F just yet. I'll keep them as a D for right now. Texas, here we go. Texas is playing some terrible baseball. Last week, we had the Rangers as a C. They have lost 6 straight. They didn't win 1 game this past week. What is going on with the Rangers right now? Texas, 27th in the offense. If we take a look at the starting pitching, it's 27th in starting pitching. Looking at the bullpen, this Texas bullpen stinks. They're 25th in the bullpen this past week. What is going on with the Rangers? I think it's a no-brainer. I think you got to drop the Rangers from a C to a D. I mean, there's really not much else to say about that. The Rangers losing 6 straight, not ranking very well in numbers this past week. They got to drop to a D. Next up, we have the Angels. It's sad. I say this every week because I want to give the Angels all the chances in the world, but this team, I don't know what is going on with this Angels team, man. It's crazy to see. This Angels team, in my personal opinion, I think they're a good team, and they're just not playing well. I think they have the pitching to be able to maybe not be a great team, but I think they could be decent. I think they should be a lot better than what they're playing. But Ohtani today, big home run at my expense today. That was just horrible to see. Heartbreaking as a Red Sox fan. But the Angels coming off of the win, 4-6 in their last 10. I think the Angels were a C last week. I don't know. I think we might be dropping them. I think the Angels may be going to a D, even with the win today. They're 29th in offense this past week, 26th in starting pitching, and the bullpen. Awful. 28th in the bullpen this past week. We got to drop the Angels. The Angels have to drop. They have not played well recently. The Angels right now are a D. I think that's fair. That's just what I'm thinking. The Angels, I think they're a lot better than this. But what is going on? Brandon Schutz, hello. Rex Smith, what's going on? Yeah, I can be a little harsh, Rex. As a teacher, I can definitely be pretty harsh. I can't lie about that. I'm tough on my kids because I want the best for my kids. But here we go. Moving on, we have Arizona. 3-7 in the last 10, 18-23. Last week we had Arizona as a D. I think we're going to keep Arizona as a D this week. I mean, if you take a look at the numbers, Arizona this past week they are 9th in the offense this past week with the starting pitching. Actually doing all right. 5th in the starting pitching this week. And then the bullpen. Where's the bullpen? 20th in the bullpen. So what exactly is going on with this Arizona team? Let's go take a look at what they did this past week. Luke Weaver had 4 scoreless innings, and then he left the game with shoulder discomfort today in the loss against the Nationals. Let's take a look. 286 people in the chat right now. I think this might be a season high, definitely a high for our power rankings this year. 286 people in the chat. Welcome, everyone. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. I'm talking power rankings every single Sunday night, and I'm talking baseball here throughout the week. So, pretty much feels like almost every day, or at least every other day. But taking a look here at the Diamondbacks, they lost today. They won yesterday. Lost that, so they lost that series. Lost the Marlins, or no, they split the Marlins series. I think with the Diamondbacks, you just got to keep them as a D. They're just gonna stay for me right now. Moving on, the Nationals, who had the win today against the Diamondbacks, 16-20. I think the Nationals, so I had them as a D last week. I mean, I don't know. They're not really doing anything. They're kind of just hanging around with what they're doing. Washington. Okay. So, overall on the year, Washington is 18th in offense. They are this is defense. They're playing well defensively. Wait, what happened to my... Okay, there's the starters. Okay, you know what? Here, we're going to do this. Pitching. I goofed something up here, man. What did I goof? All right, here we go. So the starters. Okay, okay. Let me start fresh. Washington, where are you at? Washington, 18th in the offense. Starting pitching. 26th in the starting pitching. That's awful, man. Even with a Max Scherzer, that's terrible. Bullpen. 25th in the bullpen. Let's take a look at what they did this past week. Yeah, Chester. I agree, man. I agree. However, it's not a peanut brain. It's a potato brain. You got to make sure you get that right. It's potato brain. I'm not at the level of the peanut brain yet. I think the potato brain is a little less. Taking a look here at Washington. This past week, they actually did well offensively. They were 4th in starting pitching this past week. And the bullpen, they were 22nd. Let's go take a look at this Nationals team. What did they do this past week? So, again, they're 4-6 in their last 10. Taking a look. Eric Fetty struck out 4 over 7 scoreless innings today against the Diamondbacks. What did the Diamondbacks do this past week? All right. So, they lost 2 of 3 to the Phillies. And they won 2 of 3 against the Diamondbacks. So, to me, that's a back-and-forth week. So, I think Nationals, they were a D last week. I'm going to keep them as a D for this week. Maybe they can make it up to a C if they can start bumping it up. Oh, that is right. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to take that into account. Thank you for mentioning that, David. So, yeah, they won. I didn't even realize the score right there. 17-2 yesterday. That is a big win. Oh, that was Friday night. But then they had a big loss on Saturday. I don't know. If they can start pumping out that offense a little bit more this past week, a little more consistently, I think, this Nationals team, I think, could be pretty good. So, but right now, I think they're just going to stay at a D. So, moving on. Here we go. So, we have the Marlins, 4-6 in their last 10. This Marlins team, where did I have them last week? I had the Marlins as a D last week. Probably going to be staying, but let's take a look at what they did. All right, Marlins. So Duvall had himself a 3-run homer today, beating the Dodgers today. So let's take a look. What have the Marlins done this past week? We are almost at 300 people in the chat. Could we hit 300 for the first time this year? Okay, so hey, good win for the Marlins today, a 3-2 win, but losing 2 out of 3 overall to the Dodgers, who are trying to get back on track themselves. And then they split against the Diamondbacks. I don't know. I feel like you got to keep the Marlins as a D. I had them as a D last week, so I'll stay. I'll go with a D. Just taking a look at where they're ranking right now. The Marlins, offensively, 24th in the offense. Right now, starting pitching, 16th in starting pitching. With the bullpen, they're 10th in the bullpen. It's not a bad Marlins team. They're just not really getting the wins. Taking a look at this past week, 25th in offense, 25th in starting pitching, and the bullpen, 5th in the bullpen. It's actually pretty good. So, but I'm still going to stay at a D. I want the Marlins to start putting together some more wins. If they want to get up to the C category, I think with the Marlins, you got to start, winning some more games. The bullpen's looking promising. The offense and the starting pitching need to pick it up a little bit. I think this Marlins team could go on some kind of a run. I think it's a pretty fun young team. I think there's some good pieces on that team. I think they can go on a run. We'll have to wait and see. Up next, we have the Kansas City Royals, who were just garbage in the last couple of weeks. They were looking really good. They were looking like this out of nowhere surprise team this year, and then they just completely fell apart. But we got to take a look at what they did this past week. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They had the bad loss to the White Sox today. They were in position to win the game, then losing on a walk-off wild pitch. So, if you take a look here, man, did Abreu, did he touch the plate? It's just funny, like this picture. I mean, honestly, this is like almost like a fail kind of a picture. It's just face down in the dirt. But did Abreu get like a hand? Did he get a hand on the plate? Because he's not even touching the plate here. So I don't know. Did he get a foot across? I don't know. I'd have to go watch it again. But here we go. Taking a look. Oh, that's the standings. We'll look at the schedule. The Royals this past week, they were just losing games left and right. They were just losing all these different games. Or all these games. Taking a look. So they split with the White Sox this past weekend, and they got swept by the Tigers this past week. Oh, man. Do we want to drop the Royals to an F? I mean, is that possible? Are we dropping the Royals to an F? I mean, they're losing on a walk-off wild pitch. I mean, that's pretty bad. You know what? I'm going to let you guys take over. I'm going to let you guys pick this one. I'm having a tough time with this. Royals, where do you think? Do you think the Royals? So last week we had the Royals as a D. Where are the Royals going to finish this week? Are they a D or are they an F? I want to see. This is going to be a vote in the chat. I'm seeing Ds. I'm seeing a couple Fs. I'm seeing a lot of Fs. I'm seeing an E-. I'm seeing some Ds. I'm seeing some Fs. I feel like we're going back and forth. Oh, man. This is pretty split. Yeah. I feel like I'm seeing a little bit more Ds. So you guys have spoken. I'm going to stick with the Royals as a D for now. I think that's fair. They did win a couple of games this past week. They split with the White Sox, a good White Sox team this past weekend. I mean, a pretty tough loss today. But they got a couple of wins. I'm not ready to make them an F. Who knows? Maybe this Royals team could get back on track. We're gonna have to wait and see what they do in the coming weeks. So moving on, Royals. We're moving through this actually pretty quick. Here we go. Atlanta. I don't know what's up with this Atlanta team, man. 19-21. They had some bad news with Mike Soroka this past week. You hate to see that with Mike Soroka, man. They really needed him to come back because that starting pitching has not been doing so good this year. They could definitely use a lift in the starting pitching. But Freddie Freeman had himself a grand slam today, a 10-9 win, or a 10-9 loss, over the Brewers. But, Freddie Freeman still doing Freddie Freeman kind of things. But overall, it was in a loss. So let's take a look at what the Braves did this past week. Taking a look at the schedule. So they did win 2 out of 3 against the Brewers, but they got swept by the Blue Jays. They got an important series coming up with the Mets. This Mets team is reeling. They're really going to need to come out and play against this Mets team, man. But yeah, not a great week for the for the Braves overall. 4 losses this past week, only the 2 wins. Taking a look here. Atlanta. What is going on with Atlanta? Offense. Where are they at? 14th in the offense. Starting pitching. 24th in starting pitching. Bullpen. Where's that bullpen? 18th in the bullpen. I mean, just not great. They're not ranking very well in these. And like the offense, this offense should be a lot better. We have broken 300 people. 310 people are in the chat right now. Welcome. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. And hit that like button for me as well. Hit the bell or whatever else you guys do on YouTube. So taking a look here, this past week, Atlanta, 19th in offense this past week, 13th in starting pitching this past week, and 23rd in the bullpen this past week. Ugh, you just hate to see it. You hate to see it. I don't know. This Braves team, it's just, I don't know, man. Last week, where did I have the Braves? I had the Braves as a C+. I think we got to drop them. I think you got to drop them to a C. I think that makes sense. I don't think they're a D. I'm going to drop them from a C+ to a C. I just think that's kind of appropriate. They got swept by the Blue Jays this past week. They lost today to the Brewers. I'm going to go with a C. I think this Braves team, I still think this is a good team. I don't know. They just need to put the wins together, man. Put the wins together, Atlanta. Here we go. Moving on. We have the Chicago Cubs. 19-20, 6-4 in their last 10. They won today. Let's take a look at what the Cubs did this past week. Ian Happ coming back today. Here we go. So they won 5-1 against the Tigers. I mean, everyone should be beating the Tigers. So taking a look, what did the Cubs do this past week? Lost both games to the Indians this past week, and they won 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. I mean, kind of just like a whatever week. Not a great week for the Cubs. Taking a look, let's look at the stats. 13th in the offense. Starting pitching. They're dead last in starting pitching this year. That's not good. I mean, they don't got Yu Darvish, so that's definitely showing. They got the 9th best bullpen, though. Not bad. Chicago, offensively. Where are you at? 8th in the offense this week. Starting pitching. They are 29th this past week. And the bullpen is actually doing really good. This past week, the Chicago Cubs bullpen is the best bullpen this past week. So you like to see it. But they're not getting all the wins. So right now, the Cubs, I had them last week as a C. I'm going to stick with a C. I think they're on the same level right now with the Braves. I think this Braves team is more talented, but when it comes to what they've done on the field, the numbers that they're putting up, I don't know. These two teams are kind of, I don't know. They're kind of looking like the same almost. Right now, the Cubs, I'm going to stay with a C. Moving on, Cincinnati. Haven't heard much about Cincinnati lately. 2 in a row, 500 on the year. Let's take a look at what Cincinnati did this past week. While that's loading, Cincinnati on the year with the offense. They are, they have the 6th best offense this year. Look at that. I mean, they got some good pieces in that lineup. There's no reason why that offense shouldn't be good. There's no reason. Taking a look, starting pitching. Cincinnati, they're 19th in starting pitching and 22nd in the bullpen. Let's take a look at what they did this past week. 3rd best offense this past week. Starting pitching this past week, they are 18th. And the bullpen this past week, 3rd. They have the 3rd best bullpen this past week. Let's take a look at the schedule. So they won today. Had a comeback win against the Rockies. So here we go. What did they do this past week? This Reds team, I still think this Reds team can do something this year. They definitely need, I think, some more pitching, though. They need some more pitching. But this past week, they won they split with the Rockies, and then they won 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. To be honest with you, this past week should have been a big week for the Reds. I mean, you should have swept this Pirates team. You should have won 3 out of 4 at least against this Rockies team. So this Reds team, to be honest, this was a week to go on a winning streak. If you had, so you had how many games? You had 7 games this past week, no days off. This should have been a 7-game win streak, in my personal opinion. I mean, the Rockies and the Pirates, you should be winning these games. So, I mean, the Pirates, whatever, it's a division game, or it's a division series. So, but yeah, this could have definitely been a good win streak for the Reds this past week. Didn't fully take advantage, lost a few games there. So, overall, again, 500 on the year. The Reds last week I had as a C. I'll keep them as a C. I'll keep them there. So, I think that's fair. Moving on, we have the Mariners. Hey, the Mariners were a fun team this past week. Hey, getting Jared Kelenic, having a home run as his first hit in the major leagues. They've won 3 in a row. Hey, look at the Mariners right now. Maybe Jared Kelenic is giving them a spark. Look at the Mariners. That's kind of what they needed. They needed a bit of a spark, and it looks like Jared Kelenic is bringing it. So they went up against Shane Bieber today, and they got the win. Hey, look at this Mariners team right now. Last week, I had the Mariners as a C. Could we maybe bump the Mariners up to a C+? Let's take a look at what they did this past week. They were 4-6 on the week. So again, they've won 3 in a row. Jared Kelenic looks like he's offering some kind of a spark. Mr. Chicken, I agree. They got some potential. Here we go. So they lost both games to the Dodgers. But then they took 3 out of 4 against a pretty good Indians team and against Shane Bieber today. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, man, I'm feeling a little happy about this Mariners team right now. Would it be jumping the gun if I bump them from a C to a C plus? They beat Shane Bieber today. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Do the Mariners make it to a C plus? They've won 3 in a row. They got Jared Kelenic up. He's offering some excitement. Logan Gilbert's up. You know what? I'm feeling pretty happy about this Mariners team. I'm gonna give them a little credit. I'm gonna go C plus. They ended their week. They beat Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber, one of the best pitchers in the game. Hey, they beat him today. I'm gonna go C plus. I'm feeling a little frisky. Why not? Let's go Mariners C plus. I'm all about it. I'm feeling pretty high on this Mariners team right now. I liked what they did this past week. So C plus, my first team to make it as a C plus. Here we go. So moving on. Here we go. The Phillies, 500 team the past 10 games. They've lost a couple in a row. Again, this is another one of these teams that are kind of just floating around like this 500 kind of a team. A loss to the Blue Jays today. We'll talk about the Blue Jays here in a little bit. 328 people in the chat. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. What's the other one? Hit the bell, the little bell button too. Taking a look at the Phillies. So Phillies take 2 out of 3 against the Nationals this past week, but then they lose 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays. Last week, I had the Phillies as a C plus. Let's take a look at the numbers. So, taking a look. Philly right now, that's crazy. They're 23rd in offensive runs above average. That is nuts, man. The Phillies starting pitching, 8th in starting pitching. They're getting some good starting pitching from Nola, Wheeler, Eflin. Those guys are bringing it this year, man. With the bullpen, 23rd in the bullpen. What happened to this bullpen? This bullpen was looking pretty good at one point. This past week, they were 15th in offense this past week. They were 15th in starting pitching. They're 12th in the bullpen. Man, I don't know. They just don't feel like a C plus team. They don't feel like a C plus team right now. I'm going to go with the Phillies as a C. I'm going to go as a C for the Phillies. They're kind of feeling like a C to me right now. Didn't end the week on a good note. Kind of like the Mariners. The Mariners ended the week on a good note. So they kind of nudged them up a little bit to a C plus for me. And the Phillies as a C for me right now, ending the week on a down note. So going down for the Phillies. Here we go. The Brewers. This team has kind of been, I don't know what happened. This team was looking really good at one point, and lately they've just not been playing all that good. 4-6 in their last 10. They did win today against the Braves, but let's take a look at what they did this past week. Jackie Bradley, there was a catch he made that looked pretty good. If you haven't seen it, go find that Jackie Bradley Jr. catch that he made this past weekend. Pretty good catch. But here we go. This past week, they lost. Even though they won against the Braves today, they lost 2 out of 3 this past weekend, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. This Brewers team, last week, I had the Brewers as a B. Man, they got to fall. They got to fall. They're going to be falling out of the B tier. Let's take a look at the numbers. They're definitely falling, but it's a matter of how far are they going to be falling. This Brewers team offensively, a horrible offense. No Christian Yelich, so dead last in offense. But the starting pitching is keeping this team alive. Second in starting pitching this year, and the bullpen, they're 20th. This past week, taking a look, 30th in the offense this past week. Starting pitching this past week. Where are they at? 6th in starting pitching. Corbin Burns made some history this past week. And then the bullpen, 29th. Yeah, they're definitely falling. Are they going to be a C or a C plus? Man. I'll go C plus. I'll drop them 1 tier. They're falling out of the Bs. I'm going to a C plus for the Brewers. Man, this Brewers team I think could be a lot better. But they'll drop 1 tier for me, going from a B to a C plus. The Mets. This Mets team was looking saucy at one point. And then they got swept by the Rays. 18-16 on the year. They are 7-3 in their last 10, but they got swept by the Rays this past weekend. And Conforto and McNeil Both left the game early today, and Stroman allowed 3 home runs. Man, not a good weekend for the Mets. Not a good weekend for Mets fans. Giraffe Neck Mark probably crying himself to sleep tonight. But taking a look this past week, I mean, not a good week. You beat, not a great Orioles team a couple of times. That's fine. But then you lose. You got swept. You got swept by the Rays. You had a bad loss on Saturday. You had a close loss on Friday. But then you lose pretty handedly today, 7-1. I mean, this Mets team, I don't know, man. It's... Again, Giraffe Neck Mark, I hope you're okay. I mean, I know there's probably tears all over your pillow right now, and I hate to see it. I want to see you happy, my friend. But this Mets team, they're dropping. They're dropping. I got to drop him to a C+. I got to drop him to a C+. I just think right now, you got swept by the Rays. I mean, you beat the Orioles a couple of times, but I think you got to drop a little bit. I think you're going to drop just a notch. Right now, a C+. I mean, Stroman had himself a bad start today, and you lost McNeil and Conforto. Hopefully, they're not going to be out long. And yes, thank you. I'm noticing some people in the chat. You're mentioning some injuries right now. J.D. Davis, Nimmo, Conforto, DeGrom as well. I mean, goodness, McNeil, a lot of injuries right now. They got to get healthy. They got to figure it out. Yeah, Yogi Dude, I'm noticing that too. There's been a lot of injuries this year. I'm noticing a lot of guys going on the IL, a lot of good players too. It makes me wonder if these injuries, I don't know. I mean, I know they had a full spring training this year, but I don't know. I wonder if just like the whole hectic last year has anything to do with it. I'm just noticing a ton of injuries this year. So, the Mets, I think they're going to be fine, but I do have to drop them just a notch. Just to take a quick look at what the Mets are doing. They're 21st in offense this year. Taking a look. I actually want to go take a look at let's go take a look at what these guys are doing. Again, right now, Brandon Nimmo's leading the way. I mean, the guy's having himself a really good year. How's Francisco Lindor doing lately? So, Lindor, he's still batting below 200. He's got himself a few home runs, but Lindor, he's still not figuring it out. Man, they need Lindor to get going, man. They really need him to get going. But, yeah, I don't know. But they're having a lot of injuries right now. Hopefully this Mets team can figure it out. But right now, starting pitching, they're 4th in starting pitching this year. They're 2nd in the bullpen. It's a good team. They're just not getting the wins. This past week, they're 18th in offense. They're 10th in starting pitching, and they're 10th in the bullpen. But they're not getting the wins. They got swept by the Rays. They're going to be dropping from a B to a C+. Up next, and what do you know? The team that swept them, the Tampa Bay Rays. Last week, I had the Rays as a C+. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty saucy about this Tampa Bay team right now. They've won 4 in a row. They're looking pretty good. Let's take a look at what they did exactly this past week. Here we go. So, the Rays, could the Rays go on some kind of a run here? Okay, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees, but they won the last game of the series, and then they ended up sweeping the Mets, so they've won 4 in a row. This Tampa Bay team, man, it's a good team. I still think this is a good team. Tampa Bay, 15th in the offense this year. Starting pitching, they're 9th in starting pitching, and the bullpen, they're 11th in the bullpen. They're actually ranking pretty well. They're ranking pretty well. Wow, we are almost up to 400 people in the chat. That is awesome to see. Thank you for coming out to tonight's Power Rankings, everyone. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, the bell button, all the buttons. Taking a look. This past week, Tampa Bay, they were 12th in offense this past week. Tampa Bay starting pitching, actually not very good in the starting pitching this past week. 20th in starting pitching. And the bullpen, 16th in the bullpen. I mean, they've won 4 in a row. I'm going to bump them up. I'm going to bump up these Rays right now. I'm going to bump up the Rays to a B. I think this Rays team, they're on a run right now. They ended the week well. They got a sweep of the Mets. I'm going with a B for the Rays. They're going to bump up 1 notch. My first team to make the Bs this week. So, hey, Yankee highlights. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much. Taking a look. We got the Dodgers. Here we go. Are we in the top 10 now? I believe we're in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, we're in the top 10. Here we go, Dodgers. They're starting to win a little bit. They're starting to turn around their season just a smidge. Here we go. Dodgers losing today against the Brewers. Close loss, but they've been playing better as of late. taking a look, the Dodgers, they beat the Mariners in both games, and then they took 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. So they had a really tough week last week, and but they won 4 out of 5 this past week. The Dodgers last week, I had as a C+. I'm going to bump them back up to a B. I still think this team is really good. They hit a bad stretch there. They did lose Seager. He's going to be out for about a month. But I think this Dodgers team, they got themselves back on track. They're going to bump up to a B this week. So let's take a look at the numbers exactly. So third in offense this year. Starting pitching, they're first. And the bullpen has not been great this year. They're 16th in the bullpen this year. This past week, though, the Dodgers offense, they're 6th in offense this past week. Taking a look at the starting pitching, they're 3rd in starting pitching this week. Trevor Bauer had himself a good start yesterday. And the bullpen, they're 14th. So I think they're playing better. They're going to bump up to a B from a C+ last week. So they're going to be a B for me this week. So here we go. Next up, we have the Indians. They've lost 3 in a row. Lost today against the Mariners. Shane Bieber on the mound today, and they couldn't get the win. So poor Shane Bieber. But here we go. Yeah, he didn't even last that long today. He went into the 5th inning. So, yeah, the offense just not good. To be honest, this Indians team, they're relying on the starting pitching. That's what this Indians team is all about, starting pitching. But if their starting pitching isn't winning you games, it's going to be hard for them to win games. This offense is not very good. So taking a look at what the Indians did this past week. They lost 3 of 4 to the Mariners. Such a weird week. You won 3 in a row, and then you lost 3 in a row. So very weird. The Indians last week I had as a C+. It's kind of one of those things, though, man. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. They've lost 3 in a row. Man, do I want to drop the Indians down to a C? Do I want to drop down to a C? Man, so we had as a C+ last week. Are they going to drop down to a C? They were basically 500 on the week, but they ended on a 3-game losing streak. So, and Shane Bieber didn't do well today. Let's take a look at the numbers. The Indians this year, they ranked 27th in offense. Starting pitching is good, though. Starting pitching, where are they at starting pitching-wise? How are they only 22nd in starting pitching this year? There's no way. Really? They're only 22nd overall? Taking a look. I mean, they're top 3. Bieber, Plesac, and Savali are doing great. They must have had a bad week. Taking a look at the Indians, they're 13th in the bullpen this year. All right, so this past week, Cleveland okay, so yeah, they didn't pitch very well this past week. So that's the offense. Sorry, that's the offense. So the offense continues to do bad. 28th in the offense. The starting pitching. Yeah, okay, so 28th in starting pitching this past week. So they definitely had themselves a bad week. 13th in the bullpen. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm going to hold with the Indians. They had themselves a 500 week. They won 3 in a row, and then they lost 3 in a row. I'm going to hold with the Indians. I'm going to hold. I'm going to stay, or no, I'm C+, sorry. C+ for the Indians. I'm going to stay. They won 3 in a row, and then they lost 3 in a row. Let's see what they do this coming week. I definitely, right now, they're like teetering. They're teetering on a C+, C. So we'll see what they do this coming week. But up next, we have... Oh, did I really skip the Yankees? I just saw someone say that. Jake Aguilar, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, everyone. I skipped the Yankees. How did I skip the Yankees? Oh, I promise you, no Red Sox bias there. I promise. How did I skip the Yankees? What in the world? All right, taking a look. I'm so sorry, everyone. I missed the Yankees. Here we go. So, taking a look. Yankees losing today against the Orioles. Taking a look. Can we hit 400 people in the chat? We're at 395 people. Can we hit 400 for this week's power rankings? Here we go. this past week. So they they won 2 out of 3, against the Orioles, and they won 2 out of 3 against the Rays. They had themselves a good week. So looking at the Yankees, the offense right now, the Yankees offense, they're 16th in offense this year. They are 5th in starting pitching. That is the Indians. And they have the best bullpen this year. It's a good team. This Yankees team is good. Taking a look this past week, the Yankees are 22nd in offense this past week. Starting pitching, 2nd in starting pitching this past week. And they have the 6th best bullpen. The Yankees last week I had as a B. Could we see the Yankees get to a B+? Man, I'm seeing some of you in the chat. I'm seeing a B. I'm seeing a B. I'm seeing a B+. It's close. They're in the they're heading in the right direction. It stinks that they couldn't sweep the Orioles. But hey, they won 2 out of 3 against a pretty good Rays team. I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling they lost today. If they had got the win today, if they had swept the Orioles this past weekend, I really think that the Yankees, I mean, right now, I want to take a look real quick, actually, at the division rank. Where are they at in the division? So they're 3rd in the division. Oh, I feel like with the Yankees right now, I want to make them a B+. I just need to see a little bit more. I just feel like I want to see a little bit more. You know, I don't know. I like that Rays. I like that 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Tough, man. Tough. I feel like I'm not quite at a B+ yet for the Yankees. I'm going to stay with the Yankees. I'm going to stay at a B. I still think this Yankees team, they could end up getting into the A's very soon, honestly. I think this Yankees team is very good. But right now, I'm going to stay in the B tier for the Yankees. I just want to see a little bit more out of this Yankees team. A little bit more. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Just a little bit more for this Yankees team. Taking a look at all right, so I skipped the Yankees earlier by accident. Here we go. Look at the Toronto Blue Jays. They're starting to heat up. Where are these Blue Jays going to fall? So they're 22-17. Let's take a look at what they did this past week. Taking a look at the Blue Jays. So this past week, they swept the Braves, and they took 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. Ended the week on a really good note. This Toronto team, they're starting to look pretty good. They're 9th in offense this year. Starting pitching, that's where they're not great. They're 29th in starting pitching. They have the 7th best bullpen, though, so they have a good offense and a good bullpen. And the starting pitching, they're just not quite getting it. But this past week, they're 14th in offense this past week. That doesn't include today. They scored a lot of runs today. Starting pitching, they're 14th this past week, so that's good. And the bullpen, they are 15th. So right now, they're kind of just hanging. So they were a C+ last week. I'm going to bump them up to a B. I think that's fair. I think the Blue Jays, they're going to move up to a B. They're ranking well overall on the year when it comes to offense and bullpen. So right now, I think the Blue Jays they won more this past week than they lost. So again, going back, they swept the Braves and they took 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. So they took care of business against the National League East this past week. I think the Blue Jays, they have earned the bump from a C+ to a B. I think the Blue Jays have made it to a B. Here we go. We are down to 7 teams. Moving on, we have the St. Louis Cardinals. They've lost 2 in a row, 5-5 in their last 10. Let's look at what's going on with the Cardinals. So, Nolan Arenado, they're playing right now, actually. Losing 5-3 to the Padres. It's the bottom of the 8th. So, Arenado did have a home run tonight. Let's take a look at the schedule this past week. Alrighty, so they took 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. I mean, they're on the road right now to getting swept by the Padres. They had a bad loss yesterday. Bad loss. 13-3 against the Padres yesterday. Lost a close game Friday night. They're losing right now. Oh, that's close, man. I don't know. The Cardinals, though. All right, so let's take a look at where they're ranking. Offensively, they're 19th. Starting pitching. Here we go. 14th in starting pitching and 14th in the bullpen. It's kind of like this again, kind of like a middle of the road sort of a team when it comes to the numbers. This past week, though, St. Louis offensively. Where are you at, St. Louis? They're 20th in offense this past week. I want to take a look. What are these guys doing? I want to see these numbers. How is Arenado doing this year? So Arenado, he's playing very well. He's leading the team right now in offense and wins above replacement. 8 homers, 26 RBIs, 294. That's over a 900 OPS. So, hey, Arenado doing his thing. You look at Yadier Molina. I mean, he's not getting as many at-bats as he usually would, but Yadier Molina's having himself a good year. Look at Tyler O'Neill. I mean, not good with the on-base, but he's got a good slugging. Tommy Edman could probably do a little bit more with the average. Dylan Carlson, how are you doing lately? You got 3 homers, 17 RBIs. Good on base for Dylan Carlson, 369 on base. Harrison Bader's doing pretty... he hasn't played that much. He's got 4 home runs, though, in 15 games. So, I mean, they're getting whatever production from... I mean, there's some guys that aren't playing. Paul Goldschmidt's not doing great. But they are getting some guys providing some production. Taking a look at the starting pitching this past week. 24th in starting pitching this past week. And 21st in the bullpen. Last week, I had the Cardinals as an A. They're about to get swept by the Padres. Ooh. You did take 2 out of 3. You did take 2 out of 3 against the Brewers, which I think is a good team, but the Brewers have not been playing well lately. Oh, man. I think the Cardinals, I don't know, man. They were playing good. I think I got to drop the Cardinals here. They're about to get swept. They're losing right now, 5-3. Oh, man. Oh, this is tough. I got to drop them, I think. I got to drop them. I don't know. They're about to get swept. Oh, this is tough, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is tough. Man. They don't rank very well in the numbers. They're kind of middle of the road with everything. 19th in the offense, 14th in starting pitching, and 14th in the bullpen. Man. I got to drop them. They're not an A. I'm sorry. I can't give them the A. I'm going to go B+. I'm going to drop them just a smidge because I just don't think they're about to get swept. If they can come back and win, then we'll talk. But I think right now I got to go with a B+ for the Cardinals. They're just dropping. They're just a little bit. But yeah, I'll stick with a B+ for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here we go. The Padres, who are about to sweep the Cardinals. The Padres are playing good recently. 6-4 in their last 10. They're about to win 3 in a row if they can hang on and win this game. Hey, Donaldson Lamet came out of the bullpen. Hey, getting Lamet back. So that's good. So let's take a look at what the Padres did this past week. Taking a look. All right, so they won 2 out of 3 against the Rockies, and they're about to sweep the Cardinals if they can hang on. So they're going to have to make it out of this inning. I actually want to take a look here. Can I look at game day? What's going on with this game right now? The Cardinals. Okay, never mind. The Padres are up. Sorry. So, and the Padres are threatening. I think it's looking like the Padres probably will hang on to win this game. Hopefully I'm not jinxing them. But the Padres, hey, they're playing better as of late. San Diego right now, if we take a look at San Diego right now in the offense, they are, where are you at? 12th in the offense. The offense is picking it up lately. 10th in starting pitching, and the bullpen is 8th. So they're starting to kind of play up to their capabilities a little bit. This past week, San Diego had a really good offense this past week. 5th in the offense this past week. Starting pitching-wise, San Diego is 23rd. And 27th in the bullpen. Not a great bullpen this past week. Last week, I had the Padres as a B. I think right now, if they hang on to win this game, I think you have to make the Padres a B+. I think you have to make the Padres a B+. I think that they're looking good this past week. The numbers are starting to improve when it comes to the offense. I think this Padres team, they're starting to play up to their capabilities a little bit. I'm going B+ for the San Diego Padres. Here we go. We are down to 5. Up next, we have Houston. Houston is red hot. They are red hot. They are a B. As last week, they were a B. Let's take a look. So, I think they're going to be moving up. It's a matter of how far are they going to move up. Here we go. Taking a look. So, they've won 6 in a row. Lance McCullers Jr. looked pretty good today. 6 scoreless innings. He was all pumped up in that picture. Taking a look. Here we go. So this past week, they won 2 out of 3 against the Angels, and they swept the Rangers. I mean, this Astros team. Right now, this Astros team has the best offense in Major League Baseball. Houston, with the starting pitching, they're not very good when it comes to starting pitching. They're 20th overall, and they're 19th in the bullpen. So this offense is huge for this team. But this past week, best offense this past week. Houston this past week, 11th in starting pitching, so the starting pitching is improving. And the bullpen, 18th, could be better. But right now, this Astros team, they're starting to look pretty good. I had them as a B last week. I am moving the Astros up to a B+. This Astros team, I think they've earned it. They've won 6 in a row. They deserve the bump. They are hot right now. I mean, what can you say? They have the best offense in the game right now. The starting pitching is better lately. The bullpen could be better. But, hey, I'm sorry, but you got to put the Astros as a B+ right now. I'm going with the bump. I'm giving them the bump from the last week. We are down to 4 teams. Oakland, 6-4 in their last 10. They won today, 25-17 on the year. What is Oakland doing? I mean, hey, the biggest news with Oakland right now is, are they even going to be staying in Oakland? Everyone, look out for a video this week. I've come up with 3 possible relocation destinations for the Oakland A's, so be on the lookout for that video this coming week. So I've also come up with a video with 3 places where maybe the Tampa Bay Rays could move to, so keep an eye out for that video as well. So taking a look at the schedule this past week for the A's. Alrighty, so hey, the A's this past week, my Red Sox lost 2 out of 3 to them. So the Red Sox, they had 2 pretty competitive games with that A's team, and then my Red Sox won 8-1 in that the finale, and then they took 2 out of 3 against the Twins. A good week for the A's. A good week. They were a B last week. They had a good week. So the A's right now, I think right now the Oakland A's offense is 7th overall. The starting pitching is 12th overall, and the bullpen is 12th overall. That's pretty good numbers all the way across. That's a pretty balanced team. They are 11th in offense this past week. Oakland starting pitching 19th this past week, and the bullpen this past week is 24th. So kind of digressing a little bit in some spots, but then they're improving in some spots. But overall, they won 4 out of their 6 games this week. Now, the question is, do they get the bump from a B to a B+? As of right now, my B+ teams are the Cardinals, the Padres, and the Astros. So, man, I feel like with the Astros, I don't know. They're a pretty balanced team overall. I'm going to go with the bump. I mean, they won 4 out of 6 games this past week. I'm going to give them a bump. I'm going to go with a B+ for the Oakland A's. I think that's fair. They played well this past week. They played the Red Sox. They're a good team. The Red Sox are a good team. And they won 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox. So I'm going to give the A's a little credit. I'm going to give them the bump. A B+ for the Oakland A's. We're down to 3. The Giants, the Red Sox, and the White Sox. Here we go. My Red Sox are up next. My Red Sox, a tough week this past week. They played some competitive games, but hey, overall, the Red Sox, in my opinion, are still one of the better teams in the game. The Red Sox have a very balanced team, in my opinion. The bullpen, they're starting to show some hiccups a little bit. Matt Barnes today blew the save. Ohtani got to him today. I'm still a believer in Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes has always had good stuff, but this year it looks like he's really put it together. And hey, he just had a blip in the radar today. So Matt Barnes, I think he's going to be fine. But for the Red Sox, again, you lost 2 out of 3 to the A's, but you won 2 out of 3 against the Angels. So you lost 2 out of 3 against a pretty good A's team, but you lost 2 out of 3 against not a great Angel, or you won 2 out of 3 against a not so great Angels team. So you lost to a good team and you beat a bad team. So in a way, I don't know. So, but overall, I'm going to look at the numbers. They're 4th in offense. They're 6th in starting pitching. And they're 3rd in the bullpen. I mean, that's pretty good numbers all the way across. This past week, though, 16th in the offense, 7th in starting pitching, and 8th in the bullpen. The Red Sox last week I had as an A. I'm going to keep the Red Sox as an A. They're going to stay. They're going to stay as an A right now for me. I don't think they got any better. I don't think they really got any worse. They played, again, they played a good A's team this past week. They played them very hard in their 2 losses, and then they won the series finale. I'm going to keep the Red Sox as an A for the Red Sox. So the Giants, and they almost won today. They were 1 out away from winning it today. So I'm just going to keep them as an A for right now. Here we go. We're down to 2. The Giants, 24-16, 6-4 in their last 10. They've won 1 in a row. Here we go. So the Giants today, Alex Wood, 5-0 on the year, beating the Pirates today, like you should. The Giants this past week. Hey, Brian Buckley with a $2 super chat. Red Sox are an F. Just hey, there were a couple times this past week where, man, they just felt like an F. I was like, come on, man. They were frustrating a little bit this past week. But you say, just kidding, love the show. I appreciate you being out here tonight, Brian Buckley. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the $2 super chat. Everyone else, thank you so much for coming out. We are still at 300 people strong. The power rankings have become a popular thing. I appreciate you all coming out every single week. Here we go. The Giants. So they split with the Pirates. Interesting. And they won their 2-game series against the Rangers. Right now, the Giants, their offense is 20th on the year. They have good starting pitching, though, 3rd in starting pitching. But the bullpen, though, is 29th on the year. That's so weird how this Giants team, they're finding ways to win games. This past week, the Giants offense was only 26. They were the best team in starting pitching this past week. And the bullpen was 17th. This Giants team, last week I was at as a B+. I'm going to keep them as a B+. I'm not going to bump them up. They had a weird week. You split with the Pirates, and then you won both games against the Rangers, and then you split with the Pirates. So I'm going to keep them right now as a B+. Because, I mean, even though they have the second best record in the game right now, they don't rank very well when it comes to offense, and they don't rank very well when it comes to bullpen. But B+ for the Giants, I'm going to stay at a B+ for the Giants. Last team, the Chicago White Sox. Where is this White Sox team going to finish? Oh, did I just click out of that by accident? Darn it. Here we go. Teams, White Sox. Here we go. The last team on the power rankings. Here we go. White Sox getting the win today on a walk-off wild pitch. Here we go. So you split with the Royals, which was weird. You swept the Twins. Okay, that's fine. But this White Sox team, hey, I like that they found a way to win today. I just like that. Here we go. The White Sox, 2nd overall in the offense this year. The White Sox. Here we go. Starting pitching on the year. They're 7th in starting pitching, and they're 5th in the bullpen. That's a very well-balanced team. Very good balance. Taking a look at the White Sox offense this past week. Second in the offense this past week. The starting pitching, they are not very good with the starting pitching this past week. They were 21st in starting pitching. But the bullpen was really good this week. Second in the bullpen. Urban the Introvert has donated $2. White Sox run differential, World Series team. Let's take a look at that run differential, actually. What was their run differential exactly? All right, so the Padres could not capitalize on those runners that they had on. Here we go. The White Sox, best record. Look at that run differential. Plus 61. Look at the Astros run differential, man. 56. That's really good. But, yeah, the White Sox, they're looking very good. The White Sox are looking very good. Again, great bullpen this past week. The starting pitching was not great this past week, but the offense continues to do well. Hey, the White Sox this past week, let me go back to their schedule real quick. Here we go. Looking at the schedule one more time. So, again, you split with the Royals, but then you swept the Twins. And you won today, so you're ending your week on a good note. And I like that you found a way to win that game. You're going to have to find ways to win games like that sometimes. I like this White Sox team a lot. I really like them a lot. Last week, I had the White Sox as an A. You know what? I'm giving them the bump. I want a team back in the A+, and I think the White Sox, they won 4 out of 6 this past week. Their numbers are looking really good across the board. A+ for the Chicago White Sox. I think right now they are the best team in Major League Baseball. I think you're starting to see some changes a little bit, you know, with these teams. Some teams are rising, some teams are falling, some teams are staying. But here are my final power rankings for the week. The White Sox, my only A+ team for the week. My Red Sox, I'm going to stick with an A. B+, we get the Cardinals, Padres, Astros, A's, and Giants. Rays, Dodgers, Yankees, Blue Jays as a B. Mariners, I gave a C+. That might have been my biggest stretch of the week. But then the Brewers fell down to a C+. The Mets fell down to a C+. The Indians fell down to a C+. C, Braves, Cubs, Reds, Phillies. D, Orioles, Rangers, Angels, Diamondbacks, Nationals, Marlins, Royals, and my F teams. The Twins have now become an F team, joining the Tigers, the Rockies, and the Pirates. So those are my power rankings for the week, everyone. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to think. One more time before I get out of here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification for me. Go follow me on Twitter if you would like. But everyone, that is all I have for tonight. I appreciate all of you coming out tonight. We hit over 300 people tonight. We got close to 400 people at one time. This was easily a record for the power rankings this week. Every Sunday night, I'm doing my power rankings. So everyone, come on back every single Sunday night. I love doing this every Sunday. Be on the lookout for a couple of news videos this coming week. Be on the lookout for some content that I'm creating this coming week. So I'm starting to kind of rev it up this week when it comes to making some content for all of you guys. Everyone, I appreciate you coming out. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone had has a great week coming up. And again, thank you for coming out tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your night. And as always, I will talk to you next time.